and welcome to Empowered by My Design, a platform where we come together to discuss the beauty of understanding our unique human design and our unique differentiation, which helps us to recognize our beauty, divinity, power, vision, purpose, and all in all, it helps us achieve and reach more fulfillment in our lives. We're discussing subjects that are relevant to the journey of deconditioning, and we hope that you will enjoy this episode. Hi, everybody. Hi, my name is RutiCelli, and I'm here with my beloved two sisters, Collyn Rayne and Bunny Gorell. We are three projectors. I'm going to introduce myself first. I'm a 1-3 splenic projector with the rulership incarnation cross and the innocence motivation. Also blessed with channel 2644, which is beautiful. I feel like a lot of my ability to connect with these beautiful ladies connect to this channel as well as 1858, optimizing and bringing depth to the community. So I'd love from my beloved friends to talk about themselves and introduce themselves as well. Please do.
Thank you, Ruti. My name is Collyn Rayne. I am a 4-6 splenic projector. I am a classic projector with the incarnation cross contagion, and I have the channel of the wavelength and the channel of structuring defined. I'm very excited to be chatting and to see what comes out.
Hi, I'm Bunny. I am a 5-1 emotional triple split projector with 8 defined centers. I'm the left angle cross of identification, and my conscious sun and Mercury are that gate 9, 9.5, and 9.6 in my undefined sacral center. So pretty interesting kind of juxtaposition there. And yeah, I've got all circuit groups, feel like lots of layers of complexity, and it's human design's been really fun to help me get to know myself.
Love it. So beautiful. I want to share with you all that the three of us met at a conference. It's called the High Desert Human Design Conference in Santa Fe, September 2024. And we just gravitated toward each other so naturally. It was so beautiful and effortless. And we created a friendship, very organic, beautiful friendship. And a lot of this friendship was supported by this beauty, by the immense support of human design, the system of human design that we're bringing today as the tool that's been helping us to navigate, literally navigate our lives and understand ourselves better. And we find so much commonality between each other. We're just so grateful for recognizing the beauty of being a projector, and also of understanding how to relate and how to do the deconditioning work. And we have created throughout this year, since we met, we're now in August of 2025, we have created a platform called Empowered by My Design, which is a space for us to come together and to support others to recognize the beauty of what it means to be empowered by their design. And we're going to share with you today a lot about this. But first, I wanted to invite both of you to share a little bit about your introduction to your background before human design, and tell us a little bit like your relationship with this tool, this beautiful tool of human design. I'd love to hear. Any of you would love to start, please.
Thank you for starting us off, Ruti. It has been lovely to get to know both of you since meeting through Human Design, and what a pleasure it is to have that initial recognition and that understanding of this system and understanding for each other that is kind of like a foundation to starting a friendship. There's already this ground that we can stand on and get to know each other. And I love that you called it, Ruti, a relationship with human design, because it is very much a deep relationship that I'm excited to keep nourishing over my entire lifetime. So I found human design, I think like a lot of people, during COVID quarantine in 2019. And I had kind of heard of it before. There were definitely glimmers of hearing about it, but I found it when I hit another rock bottom in my life. I was burnt out. I broke bonds, made mistakes, was devastated with my present state of being and what was going on in my environment and my friendships and my life at that point. And my best friend, a manifesting generator, invited me to look up my chart and just said that this is something I might be really interested in. I don't remember exactly what she said, but I remember when she looked up my chart and I looked at the image and something inside of me shifted. And now I know that that's my spleen feeling recognized, and possibly my gate 29, gate of saying yes, that's in my sun. I can feel this kind of expansing embrace of something. And in that moment, I knew that this was a new cycle for me, a new commitment to a system for me, because my friend read out a couple of lines, just not here to work, here to guide others, something about being exhausted. All those things stood out to me because I just spent so much of my life hiding and struggling and trying to fit in. And I remember being a child and feeling so much peace and so much certainty. And I remember going to school and maybe first grade, learning about careers, learning about being a woman, the potential of having a family, and being pushed to get a career, and I just remember coming home that day so depressed and going out in the backyard, and that there was a tree I would always sit under, and I just remember crying because I just realized that this world I was living in wasn't going to just let me be. I had to become so many things. There was something in the child version of me that knew. Like I knew when I was really young that this was going to be a long life, and I had to cooperate and go through the journey. And something in me just kind of put my head down and just would bear it. But seeing human design, it was like my inner child came up again and was like, oh, finally, like my head is above water and I feel seen in this way where like it gave me permission to not just bear the homogenized life I was living, and that there is a little pocket, there is a way and a community and a space for me to kind of move toward that truth that I felt when I was younger, and that maybe we're in this generation right now of breaking down these systems. So I'm going through a phase. Since I found human design, I went through my Saturn return, and so my went through my third line phase, and now I'm transitioning into a 6 line phase. And I've been doing a lot of just decompressing, releasing, deconditioning all of the things I put on, all of the conditioning I had, and just looking at that as information, as knowledge, and having forgiveness and having love for myself like I haven't felt since I was a child. So I'm really getting back to that state, but also holding on to all of the really important information I learned on the journey through my life experiences. So now I'm distilling that down and discovering how to move forward with this human design system as a form of guidance to not only use my truth, but my experience, and to synthesize it with this beautiful system to share, but also to read other people really deeply. And I didn't realize that that gift could be so positive for me because it often felt so overwhelming and so painful to take on other people. So I've really stepped into understanding my gift and our gift as projectors, and just that we're really here to decondition this life journey that we're all conditioned to be driven and successful in this old way. So it's very exciting to have a system where we can recondition what success really means and how to be in our body and in our lives in a way that fits for our unique design. So that was a long rant, but I found human design when I really, really needed it, and it's completely changed my life. I also found other things at the time. I started a journey with sobriety, and I started a journey with deconditioning in other ways. So all of those things have gone hand in hand in knowing myself, my inner truth, and also knowing how to be with others and how to be in the world in a way that's successful for me. So I'm still discovering, and uh, I'm just excited to be here with other fellow projectors who really understand this journey, and we can relate on a level that is so much deeper. So, yeah, thank you.
Yay, thanks for sharing all of that. That was really lovely to hear. Yeah, I can echo how grateful I am to know both of you and to have been in connection and conversation with you two regularly for most of this year, I think. And yeah, just how nourishing and how healing that has been. Yeah, lots of other ideas from sparked from what you said, but those will be conversations down the line. But yeah, in terms of human design, I've actually known about it for a while. It's like almost 10 years at this point. But it took me a while. Like it was a long, slow process to get to where I am with it now. It wasn't one of those like sudden, the switch got flipped type of thing. I I have been into astrology for I think probably almost 20 years, and once I got into that, I realized like I love to learn. I love these systems. I have the type of brain that is like just eats up information, a first line body. And yeah, so I think I was super fascinated with astrology. I had a friend through astrology that one day he was like, I think you're a projector. And I was like, what's that? And we looked it up and I was. And so that was my first time I'd ever heard about human design. And of course, I kind of kept looking into it, but I didn't find the pathways that resonated for me in that sort of first investigation. I do remember some of the main phrases like "not here to work," and I do remember feeling something about that. It's like, oh, that sounds good, because I was working so hard. I've always put in a lot of effort. I leverage the motors that I have to compensate for the undefined sacral. And I'm just especially sensitive to sacral energy because it being my only undefined center. So I was just kind of unconsciously amplifying sacral energy up until that point. And but I didn't really want to, so when I heard like, oh, not meant to work, there was something that was like interesting in that, but then also a lot of conditioning that came in and said like, well, that's not possible, And so it was like, I kind of, I had it in the periphery of like, I want to know about this thing. I know I'm interested in this, but I just like didn't quite know how to apply it and didn't have like a teacher or anything. And so it was just sort of like a slow, organic process. And I mean, to be honest, that's how it's been ever since then. I did start taking more like official courses, and through, yeah, I guess all I can really say is it's just been a really slow process. And there's been lots of layers to it. Like, and I feel like I can understand finally what deconditioning feels like, because it's like those little layers kind of getting peeled back moment by moment by moment. And I feel like now I've gotten to where I am by, in some ways, even pulling back a little bit from human design and not like having such like a mental focus on it, but I feel like I have finally landed in the experiment part of it, and yeah, it feels great. So yeah, I just feel so much gratitude for my whole journey with it, and ultimately for where I am now and that I got here. And that really inspires me to be more open about it, be more public with it, collaborate with you guys and with other people, and see if I can offer any guidance for other folks to like truly meet themselves and to connect with like the sense of like authentic self-awareness that I feel like I have found within myself. Because to me that feels like success, is to know yourself and be embodied as yourself. Like, I mean, I feel like that is, the only thing to really strive for, because from that place, it's natural, whatever you end up doing, from that sense of embodiment and empowerment.
Wow, that was powerful. Actually, both of your shares there's just so much beautiful wisdom there. I'm so grateful to know both of you. I will share about my journey of how I got into human design, which it happened in my mid 40s. So I started a journey of deconditioning at about 23 years old. I've been attracted to the teachings of Osho. I met a teacher who was with Osho, and I was born in Israel, so I came to the US. I was 20 years old. I went to the New England Conservatory of Music, a beautiful music school. Then right after I graduated, I moved to Miami Beach to play with this amazing orchestra. And right then I met my spiritual teacher. So imagine, it's like I'm at the height of my classical performance career, very young, a foreigner in the US. And I'm also kind of daring in a way, because I live in a foreign country and I'm doing things that are totally out of the box. Because, you know, in the traditional sense, I was supposed to like go in the route of the classical music career, except I chose to go deeper into exploring the psyche and the conditioning. And so I've been in the deconditioning process for a very long time. However, even in that environment, there was a lot of conditioning because that's what happens when you're in a spiritual, spiritual circle. You're dealing with people, you're dealing with, day-to-day stuff. And there was a lot of like, the motto was be selfless, keep in alignment with everything that's needed around. Don't be too loud, don't be too whatever. And I grew up like that, and up until my 40s, I lived in a way that was pretty much like, I thought that spirituality meant to be of service, put yourself aside, don't complain, and while I see the value in that, there's value in everything, I also recognize that I neglected myself big time. And when my teacher actually passed in 2019, by then I was already living in California. I moved to California in 2018 because I was 40 and I felt like it was time for me to, kind of like my intuition was calling me to think about myself a bit more than I was in that environment. And slowly, I was starting to come back to connecting with myself. And I was literally calling in a system, or I didn't know it was a system, but I was calling in something into my life that was going to help me understand myself. Because what ended up happening is that I was living a very out of balance life where, without getting into too many details, it was just time for me to really come back to loving and taking care of myself and not just think about other people. And then when I found out later that I'm a projector and that, what that meant, it clarified so much for me. And so that's just one example of many things that I found out in my chart in human design that explains so much about my journey. And so it was almost as if I just got like some divine clarification for my journey, for my experiences. And it explained a lot. It just helped me love myself so much more and help me understand myself, have compassion for my journey, for a lot of the mistakes, or rather not mistakes, but like a lot of the choices that I made that were not very conscious. And yet I'm a 1-3. So it's like, you're meant to learn from the experience, and you're also meant to teach from the experience. And so there's so much confirmation for me in human design, in what I'm learning about myself. And then because I'm so passionate, I have 26 in my conscious sun, which, it's this energy to dream the biggest dream and sell it from the passion of the truth of my experience. And I just feel I very, very quickly, I felt like this love affair with human design. Just wanted to share it with everybody. And, and I even making it to the conference, that was all about like, I just wanted to meet more people like me, or like meet more people that understand me, and that's how I met the two of you. And since then, this whole journey that we've been having of like really supporting each other through the knowledge of human design, it's been epic. I mean, it's been helping me with all of my relationships, as far as like understanding myself, right? It's been helping me with my journey, with my struggles, with my transformation. It's been huge, just amazing. So, yeah, I have a very deep relationship with human design, and I really felt the divine like support, as it came into my life, so to speak. And so, yeah, that's that's my story.